What if your entire life was decided by a single family's rule? Imagine a nation where every facet of daily life, from the news you hear to the beliefs you hold, is meticulously shaped by one ruling dynasty. Welcome to North Korea, a country enveloped in mystery and governed by the iron fist of the Kim family. Here, the concept of personal freedom is as foreign as the sparse information that leaks beyond its borders. To understand this, we need to delve into how this absolute control was established. It all started in the aftermath of World War II. As the world sought to rebuild from the ashes of conflict, Korea found itself a nation divided, not by choice, but by the tides of international politics. In 1945, the Korean peninsula was cleaved into two distinct zones. The North fell under Soviet influence while the South was backed by the United States. This division set the stage for the rise of a leader who would come to embody the spirit and the iron will of North Korea, Kim Il-sung. Installed by the Soviet Union, Kim Il-sung quickly moved to consolidate his power. He was more than just a Soviet puppet. He was a shrewd strategist who utilized both political acumen and ruthless tactics to eliminate his rivals. During these formative years, the ideological groundwork of North Korea was meticulously laid out. Kim Il-sung infused the regime with a mix of Stalinist authoritarianism and intense nationalism. This potent combination was further reinforced by the GeoHis ideology, a unique Korean philosophy of self-reliance, which Kim introduced. It emphasized absolute loyalty to the leader and the state, intertwining Kim's personal cult with a national identity. These elements combined to create a totalitarian regime unparalleled in its depth and scope. The state's control permeated every aspect of life, from the military to education, from politics to personal beliefs. With these foundations, a dynasty was born, one that would shape every facet of North Korean life. After the founder comes the heir, and then another. In the narrative of North Korea, the baton of leadership has passed through the hands of a single family, weaving a tight-knit dynasty that has shaped the nation's destiny. It began with Kim Il-sung, the founding father, whose revolutionary zeal and charismatic leadership established the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in 1948. His rule, marked by an iron fist and a velvet touch, laid the foundational ethos of the nation, GeoHis, or self-reliance. This philosophy was more than just political, it was a cult of personality, meticulously crafted around Kim Il-sung, immortalizing him as the eternal president. Upon his death in 1994, his son, Kim Jong-il, ascended to power. The transition was seamless, a testament to the deep-rooted control the family wielded over the state's mechanisms. Kim Jong-il, often called the Dear Leader, intensified his father's legacy, emphasizing military might with the policy of Songun, or military first. His era saw the burgeoning of North Korea's nuclear ambitions, a pivotal tool in the regime's arsenal to command both domestic reverence and international attention. The current leader, Kim Jong-un, took the reins in 2011, heralding a new age yet underpinned by the same old doctrines. Under his watch, the country has seen both modernization and further isolation, a paradox that defines his rule. The young leader's tenure is marked by continued nuclear developments and an even greater emphasis on the cult of personality, with state media portraying him as a benevolent, almost divine figure. Through generations, the grip tightens, but how exactly does this regime maintain its hold? Imagine a world where your every move is watched. In North Korea, the government has mastered the art of control, weaving a tight web over the lives of its citizens through a combination of propaganda, surveillance, and the strict restriction of information. Propaganda in North Korea is not just a tool, it's an omnipresent force. From the moment children can walk and talk, they are immersed in a narrative that glorifies the regime and its leaders. Portraits of the leaders adorn every wall, and the state's achievements are exaggerated in every media outlet, painting a picture of a utopian society that starkly contrasts with the reality of everyday life. Surveillance runs deep in the fabric of North Korean society. The government employs an extensive network of informants and has installed surveillance technology throughout the country. No corner of a citizen's life is private. Phones are tapped, movements are tracked, and disobedience is met with severe consequences. This omnipresent surveillance ensures that dissent is rare and risky. Information is a commodity tightly controlled by the state. The internet, as we know it, is non-existent for the average citizen. Instead, they have access only to a state-controlled intranet, which filters and dictates the type of content accessible. Foreign books, films, and news are banned, keeping the populace isolated from the world and any alternative perspectives. At the heart of these mechanisms of control are the Workers' Party and the military, which enforce the state's policies with an iron fist. Their loyalty to the regime ensures that any potential threats or unrest are quelled swiftly. With such tools at its disposal, the regime not only survives but adapts and endures. But what does this all mean for the people of North Korea? Imagine waking up each day under the weight of a regime where the line between public and private life is nearly erased. Ordinary citizens of North Korea navigate a reality where the state's narratives permeate every aspect of daily life. From the moment they rise, the government's omnipresent propaganda shapes their day, with radios and loudspeakers broadcasting approved news and ideology into homes and workplaces. The challenges are not just ideological but also material. Food insecurity is widespread, and access to basic necessities is a constant struggle. Despite these hardships, the resilience of the North Korean people is notable, often finding small ways to assert their identity and humanity within tight confines. On the international stage, North Korea's isolation due to its military provocations and nuclear ambitions creates further strain. This isolation impacts not just diplomacy, but also the economic sanctions that exacerbate the daily hardships of its citizens. A life overshadowed by omnipresent control and the looming threat of dissent's harsh punishment. Now, having glimpsed behind the curtain, what have we learned? We've traveled through the dark corridors of North Korea's history, beginning with the establishment of its rigid dictatorship. This regime, born in the aftermath of conflict and fortified by Cold War dynamics, has not only survived but adapted, maintaining its grip through a lineage that pledges allegiance to its founding myths. We observed how power has been handed down like a family heirloom from Kim Il-sung to Kim Jong-un, each leader weaving their personal threads into the fabric of national governance. This succession isn't merely ceremonial, it's a calculated reinforcement of an unbreakable chain of command, ensuring continuity and control. Our journey also took us through the mechanisms of control, propaganda, surveillance, and strict societal rules that embed fear and obedience deep within the populace. The impact on the citizens? A life overshadowed by the omnipresence of the state, where personal freedom is a tale from another world. In the heart of North Korea lies a regime wrapped in secrecy, sustained by an unyielding dynasty. Understanding this helps us see not just a nation, but the lives shaped by absolute power.